for those who don't know, are a distinct ethno-religious group who are living in Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan. They've been systemically discriminated against, oppressed, persecuted, and subject to ethnic cleansing campaigns for over 1 century, since the 1800s. Exact numbers are unknown, but they're between 10 to 12 million people. And since the 1800s, the Hazara minority in Afghanistan and Pakistan have endured targeted persecution and have witnessed over 62% of the population massacred. Due to the ethnic cleansing campaigns in Afghanistan and the genocide and the slavery and the persecution there, a lot of Hazaras migrated to Pakistan, and notably they settled in Quetta. There's an enormous community there that is being persecuted right now that not many people know about. So today the Shia Hazara minority are massacred by both Daesh, the Taliban, and various extremist Sunni militant groups in both Afghanistan and Pakistan, and are subject to daily violence because of their religious and ethnic identity. Just to focus on the situation right now in Pakistan, the situation is potentially even worse for Hazaras in Afghanistan, in Pakistan than it is in Afghanistan. In Pakistan, the Hazara population is between 0.5 and 0.6 million, and they're largely concentrated in Quetta city, the provincial capital of Balochistan. Because they are Shia, there are sectarian reasons for persecution, but also because of the fact that our community is easily identifiable. You can see our Asiatic features, our Mongolian you can see that we look Asian, and so that makes them very easy targets because they can essentially pick out that any Asian-looking person in Quetta is Hazara and therefore Shia. So they're very, very easily targeted that way.
The videos.
Maybe I'll let you. I'll let you listen to the video for a second. I'll read one more note as it's playing. But yeah, over the course of the past 15 years, over 2,000 Hazaras have been killed and over 3,500 wounded in a series of over 200 attacks across Pakistan. This is a hunger streak that you might want to, I think we should play a sound for it. Oh, do we have sound for the video? Yes.
Computer जिंदे आवाज़ बक्का.
The provincial government is taking steps to arrest elements involved in target killings. But the protesters rejected his request to end the strike and voiced dissatisfaction with the government's performance. Flight.
I want to request Army Chief Bajwa to come here as a common man, as a father, as a husband, and feel our pain. We have 3,000 widows and 10,000 orphans. Face them. Tell them why they're loved.
The protesters rejected his request to end the strike and voiced dissatisfaction with the government's performance.
Who are these people who come and shoot our youth despite the presence of security checkposts? We want to find out who they are.
Thousands of Hazaras have been killed in bomb blasts or shootings during the past 2 decades. Sunni militant groups have taken responsibility for most of these attacks. In most cases, the attackers have managed to escape. In Pakistan, Shiites are a regular target of Sunni militant groups. Hazaras appear to bear the brunt of that violence since their distinctive facial features, a mixture of Mongolian and Central Asian ancestry, make them easily identifiable. In addition, many of them live in 2 large clusters in Quetta and have limited routes out of their communities, making attacks easier to plan. Pakistan's National Commission of Human Rights said in a recent report that more than 700 Hazaras were killed in various incidents of terrorism in Quetta in the past 5 years. The government says it is doing all it can to protect the communities. Aisha Tanzim, VOA News, Islamabad.
We could talk about their persecution for decades, but I will focus on recent events for the sake of time. And so a report released by the National Commission for Human Rights last year stated that 509 members of the Hazara community were killed and 629 injured in various incidents of terrorism in Quetta from just 2013 to 2017 alone. These attacks included assassinations, suicide bombings, rocket shellings, and the targeting of Hazara public gatherings in places such as markets, places of worship, sports clubs, to maximize civilian casualties and vigil. And essentially, there is very few places where Hazaras can go to find safety. In Afghanistan, they're not safe, clearly. Pakistan, they're not safe, and they have limited routes, as was mentioned in the video. video outside of the community there. And so beyond this, there's also passengers who have been kidnapped, who have been identified on public transport as Hazara and have been taken away to be killed. Despite the improved security in recent years, and partly because most of the Hazaras have moved into the guarded enclaves, the hardline Sunni militants have intensified attacks, including a blast in April that killed 24 people. The perpetual sectarian attacks on members of this community have compelled the Hazaras to live their lives in what they call an open jail, because Hazara town in total stretches only to 4 square kilometers. In the last few years, hundreds of civil servants, students, entrepreneurs, members of the community have abandoned their jobs. They've left their studies and businesses because of security reasons. They can't leave their houses without risking their lives. And again, even a girl who fled from Quetta and is my friend now in Canada, she has spoken about how, without that she probably would be in this violence. And so Hazaras have gone on to protest, like you've seen. They've gone on hunger strikes, but there's little to no response from the international community. The individuals and groups responsible for these systematic killings of the Hazaras are known to the Pakistani state institutions. Of course, there are the usual perpetrators. There's the Taliban, there's ISIS, but Al-Qaeda-affiliated Sunni Muslim extremist militant groups, and notably Lashkari Jangavi, Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, and Jaish-ul-Islam have been claiming responsibility proudly for these attacks on Hazaras. Yet, not a single culprit has been apprehended. No one has been charged. Nobody has been brought to justice. And frankly, the Hazaras have been just swept under the rug of all the other violence in the region. So in many cases, the individuals and groups responsible for these massacres have actually enjoyed government and community protection. So there's a humongous issue here. And just to wrap up, the terrorist activities against Hazaras will continue uninterrupted unless we do something. It's stoked there are sectarian divisions being stoked, which is incredibly dangerous for the entire region. And we must place pressure on both Pakistan and Afghanistan and the international community to protect Hazaras from targeted killings and bring these perpetrators to justice. Again, both countries are on the Human Rights Council this year, and this has not been brought up whatsoever with them during the review. And again, the Iceland's foreign minister stated last session that states which join the council should lead by example and set their own human rights records to be subject to scrutiny. And so with that, I'd like to conclude, and thank you for listening.